world's biggest egg Benedict.
I'm so excited.
I don't know what's down here, but I want to know.
To the rest.
That's it. We're gonna go to a really cool place, Denmark. It's winter, so it's gonna be a cool place. Full of cool people, great history, really pretty girls, fresh water running from the taps, imagine that. One of the things I love about Denmark is the small walking streets where you go for shops. And then you make a turn, and all of a sudden you are hundreds and hundreds of years back in time. Look at this. Experience history. People live in these buildings still. Absolutely beautiful old buildings that have been here for hundreds of years, cobblestone streets, and you know what? The plumbing still works better here than anywhere in LA. Now, those of you who know me knows how much I appreciate good eating, and I have been forever telling you about the wonders of Danish pastries and how much better than anywhere else in the world they truly are. I suppose to most Americans who've never been out of America, I will wager you have never had a truly good pastry or truly good bread. You may think you have, but you really haven't. Let me show you why and explain my theory. What do you have there?
This is something with Danish pastries, macaron, and then something with apple, and then something with strawberry.
And something we don't have in America that we don't seem to understand is this.
Yes. Candy. What do you call it?
If I tell you what they're really called, I will get a lot of letters. I'm not.
Smørkage.
Now, what you don't understand, that what we have stuck with in America is all these dry, boring pastries that doesn't really have real sugar or real cream. That is the problem. Here, everything is made fresh. And for our benefit, actually, the baker gets here at 2 in the morning?
Yes.
2 in the morning. It's not like you show up and you just bake it, you heat it up. Here, it's actually really made with fresh ingredients.
Yes.
I've always said, you don't put fresh bread in a plastic bag.
No, we don't. Have it in a paper bag. And then you can have it in a paper bag.
Why?
Because if it's in plastic, it's getting wet, and then it's getting soft. And you have to have it fresh.
And it can't breathe.
No.
So for you people who go to Walmart or Ralph's and buy your bread is made in a central office somewhere, and it's made full of preservatives, so it will last for months and months and sit on the shelf, and the longer it's there, the more it'll sell. But it's not good bread. And I pity those 98% of Americans who've never been outside, who've been to Europe, or rather Denmark, and had Danish bread, because you will never understand what fresh bread really is.
And we have lots of bread here. It's white flour, fresh white flour, mixed with oil and seeds.
Seeds?
Seeds, yeah. Salt. It's all. It's crispy. Otherwise, we have it in the oven and we give it some heat. Have a crispy scope. You see, it's nice. It's white flour. We have something here with rye and malt and then carrots.
So you have different seeds in there.
Inside, yes.
Rye, a little oats, malt,
Yeah.
sesame on the top.
Yeah.
And it's heavy and it fills you up. And there's a lot of different types of these dark breads.
Yes, we have this one also. It's also with rye and with, I don't know what you call it in, but it's
Sourdough.
sourdough. Yes, water, rye. This one is also rye, malt.
Old rye bread.
Yes. I think about the Vikings now.
I want you all to see how will you make fresh food, fresh bread, fresh sandwiches, fresh pastries every day. It can be done. Fresh food, and it is awesome. We should try this in America. Not all this processed stuff that'll last for months on end, because I guarantee you, a bread loaf that will last for a couple of months, you should probably not be eating. Let's just be honest.
The baker. He'll now show you how you turn simple ingredients into rye bread. Take it away.
Yeah, it's very simple. We just have the rye, corn, and we put them together with water the day before, so they get soft. They take the water and get soft, yeah. And then the day after, we have this sourdough. It's need to run every day from day to day.
So that with water becomes sourdough.
No, this one is just a part of it.
Okay.
This one together with water.
All right.
And then the day after, we take this one and the rye flour, and a half with the sourdough, rye sourdough.
What is the sourdough?
The sourdough is this one and this one. We started up only one time with a bit of milk,
Okay.
kind of old milk, and then we started up over 3 or 4 days. Just the system is every day we just fresh it up. So you have to put some milk in the first day, and then you just fresh it up. And when it is alive, you just every day need to take around half of it, put into the rye bread, and then this one we fresh up with rye flour and water.
Okay.
And then it stands the day after, and you have again.
It's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very simple. But this one you just need to do every day, refresh. This is yeast, and just that small part of yeast together with this one. This is the one to make it.
Rice.
Yeah. And this is very traditional, with around 60, 70 of corn, and then rye flour, nothing else.
So simple.
Not wheat flour or sun corn or anything. Just this one. This is totally traditional Danish rye bread. And when we use in water, it's very soft, and you cannot take them up. It's totally wet actually now, because it's still hot and fresh, and it smells very typical also. A bit strong that you normally get from other bread, because it is sour. And it's also good for maybe 5 or 6 days before it will get old, because of this.
As it should be.
Yeah. So what's the problem for some of those salesmen come to us is there's nothing magic here. It's totally back to basic, and it's very good.
See, back in the day, this is what they make, not the white bread.
No.
The white bread is modern.
Yeah. When we had the rye bread, it was something like that one here. The old bread is half rye, half wheat.
Okay. So you sort of mix the two. Did you know that back in France, back in Victorian time, the white bread was for the upper class only, because they were too delicate to eat the rye bread. The rye bread was for the worker.
Yes.
But the rye bread was actually fill you up and make you able to work.
Yes. So that was the right way for the meaning.
So slowly you become to make hybrids of the two.
Yes. This was the way. It's also something from old days.
And it's soft inside, not like the Italians do the ciabatta, crappy,
it's soft.
Dry.
We have it over 2 days.
Do I sound impartial here to the dry, boring Italian bread? No offense to the Italians, but you can't make bread.
No.
So 5:30 to 6 o'clock, they can pick up free bread from the or very discounted bread for the homeless and the needy. So you actually do a really good social service as well. Bakers like you are rare now. When I grew up, there was a baker on every corner in Denmark.
Yes.
This is where you come every morning for fresh bread, and you get a cup of coffee, and you have your pastry. And that's kind of where people met. So what do? You went out on the town. Now, mind you, in Denmark, when you go out, you stay out until, 6, 7 in the morning?
Yes.
Not like this pathetic little going out till 1 o'clock like you do in America. Party City, kiss mine. Anyway, you'd go by the baker and you get fresh bread because it's 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. You can get fresh bread every day. And I guess it's a dying art, though. There's not as many bakers here as there was just 10 years ago.
No, we're about 800.
What's going on?
They go to the big shop, and there are lots of stores, and also bakers. But it's not a baker like we are.
They just bake it up.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. You go to
Yes.
the big shops, I guess a little bit of the American way.
Yes.
Everything has to be big, and the quality suffers.
Yes.
Because although I will say that even the bake up is still better than the average mainstream bread in America. You want to show me where things happen?
Yes. Nu kommer jeg lige på skærmen her.
This is fresh dough. This is fresh dough, right?
Yes. And then you should have sandwich out of this in just a few minutes. You will make sandwich.
So to make a sandwich, you actually start by making the bread fresh,
Yes.
and then make a fresh sandwich.
Yeah.
One of the things I have introduced to my drunken motorcycle friends is rum balls.
Yeah.
They like the idea because they think they have balls. They do. And they have the word rum in them. I guess it's a Danish specialty
Yes,
we
it's
do
a
here.
specialty. We made it from pastries from yesterday. Pastry from yesterday. Cocoa, yeah? A little bit more cocoa. And then, hvad har vi mere i? It's actually rum inside. Rum? Yeah,
So
rum inside.
yesterday's pastry
Rum, yeah.
still gets a new life today.
Yes.
They're absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
You don't put enough rum in there for I see all the American...
Only one.
Only one. Shot per. I see all the American parents horrified. Children can go and they can buy something with rum in it. This is the yesterday pastry. Spin it around, turned into rum ball. Booze and pastry. I believe in this. And marzipan goes in everything.
Yes, in everything.
What? Americans don't even know what it is.
No.
What went wrong? Why don't they get it?
I don't know why, because it's expensive maybe. I don't know if they can get it. Marzipan is,
We can get it, but they don't know what to do with it.
they don't know what to do with it. This is also marzipan.
And you get a rum ball inside, wrapped in marzipan.
Yes, we have a rum ball
Active.
inside.
I love these.
Yes.
Actually, and we shouldn't let that go to waste, so I'll buy that from you when I leave.
Also pastries here with cream. So,
And this is a Danish.
fastnavnsboller. What do you call it?
It's a seasonal.
Yeah, something like Halloween, maybe. We have Halloween
Yeah.
now here.
Now the one thing you have marzipan right
Yes,
there.
this is marzipan there. It's also marzipan inside this one, in the middle.
Whipped cream. American do not understand whipped cream. Let me explain this to you for the very last time. Whipped cream does not come out of a can.
No, no.
This is what whipped cream looks like.
Yes. And whipped cream is something you get.
From whipping cream.
Yes. Not so
It
different.
actually comes from a cow,
Yes.
not a can. I've been in restaurants in
Yeah,
America
yeah.
where I had apple pie,
Yeah.
and then I asked for whipped cream,
Yeah.
and the waitress would come out and put the can
Yes.
on the table.
Yeah.
And I looked at her like, no, I want fresh whipped cream.
Yeah.
And she looked at me, well, we don't have time for that.
No.
It take what, a minute?
Yes, it could.
I didn't have time to.
No.
Whipped cream and marzipan, please, dear God, understand this in God's country. This is what you need to
Yes.
be great again.
Tonight, I bring you an important message. In these troubling times, we must look to the facts and away from the past and the trouble of the media and the everyday stress, and look to one thing that can unite us and once again make this nation as great as once it was. We must all remember, whipped cream does not come out of a can. It comes from a cow, and then it is whipped with vanilla. It is stuffed in pastries on top of ice cream. It is put on desserts and Irish coffees. Real whipped cream. I urge you all to join me in the fight against fake whipped cream. It is destroying the very fabric of this nation. No longer tolerate going to restaurants and being served whipped cream from a can. Make America great again. Serve real whipped cream. God bless America. Thank you. And good night.
Isn't it cute? Pastries can be cute. And again, freshly
Fresh.
made. What time do you show up in the morning?
2 at night.
2 at night to make fresh bread. We would never get people to show up that early in the morning in LA. Now, the other thing that would make Americans less fat, remember, is this. This is a heavy rye bread.
You hear it in Danish, it's rugbrød. Rye.
It's pretty much the mainstay of what we eat in Denmark.
Yes.
This is underneath all our cold cuts. We don't eat the white bread that
No.
much. This is it. And it's heavy.
Yes, it's heavy. Very heavy.
And you have a little bit of
Carrots.
A little bit of carrots.
Yes.
So you basically just seeds.
Yeah.
You jammed everything healthy
Yes.
and good for you in this.
Yeah.
This is basically like eating a bowl of oatmeal for breakfast.
Yeah.
And this is bread that you slice.
Yeah.
Lasts 4 or 5 days before it goes
Yeah.
bad again?
Yes.
It lasts a little longer than the white bread.
That's a little longer, yeah.
This would be good for your kids.
Yes.
We have 365 million Americans. This would be good. There should be a market for this.
Yes.
And I don't
think-
understand why there's not. This is good. This
You
is healthy.
can make a sandwich with this one also. Take something, 2 slices, and then get something on. And then get a sandwich for your kids for school, maybe.
And this will last.
Yeah.
And when I was stationed in the army here, this is what we would eat.
Yeah.
We would never eat white bread because it doesn't fill you up like this does. This will give you energy. And
I think about 80% of the Danish people eat rye bread every day for lunch or for...
the other 20%, they don't have teeth.
They don't know what it is.
Remember that, America? The best of the best. You need to come here. All of you. Not at once. You need to call for that.
Med smørcreme.
What is it? I'm asking because I'm not actually sure.
Lavkagebolle med smørcreme. Og så er der noget kakao i. Og så kommer der marcipan over. Og dyppet chokolade.
This is a layer cake. This is the proportions you should have for a proper layer cake. This much cream and this much of the bottom and top. And then of course you coat it in chocolate and then you get this little thing. It's small, it's delicate, it's light, and it's fluffy, and I'm generally starving. I was wrong. First you coat it in marzipan because that's what we do. I'm pretty sure if you had dying people go to the hospital, you coat them in marzipan too and they'll be better. So, I mean, this is the proper proportion a pastry should have.
Jamen, lavkagebollen med jordbær marmelade og jordbærcreme. Eller jordbærsmørcreme. Så kommer der rød marcipan ovenpå. Og så bliver den skåret i trekanter.
This is where you need to look at the proportions in America. You've got like a clip for much better
Ja,
than
for
thing.
fanden, hvor er det heldigt.
The problem again is America is such a big place that we have to centralize and we have to make hundreds of thousands of breads and send them out, and then we fill them with preservatives so they will last. You don't do this here. You actually turn down business.
Yes.
Why?
Because it gives a better bread and better quality.
And if I brought you 10 customers,
Yes, I will think about it and then probably say no. Because it's something with money, but also
quality.
Quality.
So basically, you have to make it fresh.
Yeah.
And if you start making bulk, the quality might drop and you don't want
A little
that.
bit, yeah.
Okay, this is where it gets complicated for my American friends, especially my corporate friends. You have to say no to money in order to keep quality up.
Yes.
Now listen very carefully. You're going to have to think about this and it will hurt your brain.
Yeah.
Sometimes quality is worth it. Money is not everything, and considering how poor the foods are we give our young, maybe we should, I don't know, drop the idea of commercialism and profit. Profit is not worth everything. Quality of living is. Quality of fresh bread is synonymous with healthy living. This is the pinnacle of what I consider a Danish pastry. It's not a tart, it's a cake, isn't it? And you have marzipan and real whipped cream and real whipped cream, and this is perfect. This is the way it's supposed to be. Get it? Come on, corporate America, you can steal anything from anywhere. Make this. And if you can make it better, I'll buy it too. Okay, my favorite Danish pastry. Let's see how that's made. Whipping cream.
Yes.
This is so simple. Anybody should be able to understand the concept of whipping cream. You whip the cream until it's so hard you can flip the bowl upside down without it falling out. Right? Ish. So the making of my favorite pastry starts with fairly thin slices of pastry. Vanilla cream, whipped cream,
Så nu vil jeg lave sådan en faring.
so this is the vanilla cream.
Yes.
And look at the proportions. There's more cream than there's pastry. This is perfect.
Yes.
So you're measuring to cut the marzipan that wraps it.
Yes.
So this is the high-tech way as opposed to doing it at home with a pizza roller. Here they use Odense marzipan. Odense is a town in Denmark that makes the oldest marzipan in the country. With marzipan, you can make all the same little figures as you can with chiffon, except it tastes better. But maybe you can't make the most delicate little flowers and butterflies that you can with the fake shit. But fuck the fake shit. I want marzipan is real.
Der var sådan 6 procenter på. En er til 6 personer.
That's a favorite.
Jo, men det var det godt.
This is the healthy part, right? Like 2 grapes and a bit of apple. And you know Hitler was a vegan. He was. Why do you think he started World War II? The poor man couldn't have a beer and a steak. The world is going to end, and it's going to be because of a vegan again. And this is why I have to go to the gym, because you always wonder, my agent always wonders why I put on weight when I go to see my mom. This is why. I have a problem. I'm aware of this, but no rehab exists, and I'm still not a fat fuck, so fuck it. The one thing that's striking about a smaller country like Denmark is that you can make things fresh, from the local butcher to the local bakery. Every corner there used to be a bakery, just like this one. There are about 800 bakeries left in Denmark today. And every morning, 2 o'clock, the baker shows up to make you fresh bread. They have deals with the local butcher to make fresh sandwiches. And the next day, they throw them out. Or they give them to homeless people, because by then, of course, they're bad. And now you need fresh stuff. Something we just need in America is start making fresh things. Now, I know in Santa Monica we have 3rd Street Promenade. Here, these little walking streets have one thing that we do not have: a Danish candy store. The one thing that I have tried and tried to explain to my American friends is marzipan. I know you still think it's cheese, but it's really not. Here I've come to the master. Downtown Aalborg, you have the most amazing candy store. What is Americans missing by not having marzipan?
They are missing a real good taste. Not so sweet, but really original.
And we mix it with everything here.
Yes.
Pastries, chocolate, pistachio, nuts,
Yes.
everything.
Yes. Everything.
Can we even make it? Anything without marzipan?
Yes, we can.
Okay, but we shouldn't.
Yeah, oh no.
How did that start?
How we make it?
How did it... Like, if I'm in America, they don't know what marzipan is.
No.
Here, it's pretty much the mainstay of candy.
Yes.
Why are we so advanced in Denmark and they haven't gotten it over there?
I think in the USA you want every stuff so sweet. We don't want it here. We want it more delicious.
More expensive.
We have our own factory, and the factory is 120 years old, and it's 4 generations who has it now.
Family business.
Yes.
Nothing in this world is cooler than a family-owned business that makes the best candy in the world.
Yes.
Is it candy or is it
No, only
confection.
only chocolate.
only
Yes.
chocolate? So it's not really considered candy, it's confection.
Yes, we have almonds with the chocolate, and we have a bit of licorice.
Licorice?
Yes, with chocolate around.
I have
Yes.
noticed over my visits here that all of a sudden, a couple of years ago, licorice entered everything.
Yes.
Coffee, chocolate, everything.
Yes.
Why? What happened?
It's up to date. It's a new. It's
Oh,
a new
it's
black.
the hip thing?
Yes, it's a new black in Denmark.
Oh, dear
Yes.
God. So licorice is
Yes.
cool. Okay.
You put it in food, everything.
What's going to come after?
I don't know. I don't hope it's licorice.
I tried the licorice coffee. And
Yes.
we don't need it, but I can accept it.
Yes.
What's the name of the shop?
Halsen chocolate. Halsen chocolate. Yes.
You go here, after the museums, you come here.
Yes.
I'm just filming nuts.
Oh, you don't know them from America?
Yeah, we have enough of them. We have a lot of nuts. Most of them are in Washington, though. And as most old buildings, this one was built in 1867. But when you walk through the front gate of the original monastery, 1431. What was the founding fathers doing 1431? They're probably going to monasteries in Europe like this. But it's a beautiful, beautiful building. And this is where I can only be saddened that my grandmother had passed, because she was the head guide in this town. And she would have told you so many stories. Some of them I wish I could have remembered from this place. They did here at the monastery, when they found it underground, instead of digging everything up, moving it somewhere else to a museum, they just built the museum underground where they actually found all the artifacts, which is, again, history where history was made or found. This is the back of the post office, and here around me, 1506. I don't think America was even on the map or even thought about being on the map at 1506. Going through Europe, these are the buildings you see, the streets you walk. You just walk through history wherever you happen to be. It is a beautiful experience that most Americans without a passport, you need to get a passport to go see this. This was from back in the day. Well, I guess people, they were thinner. And it's funny because everywhere you go in Denmark, you see a small church, big church, a huge church like this one, beautiful, beautiful structures, hundreds of years old, most of them. And in spite of that, Danes are really not very religious at all. In fact, this was the first country to liberate porn. Most Americans think that it is McDonald's that is the calling card for where we go in the world. Really, it's Starbucks. Now, nothing bad about Starbucks, and they're generally dry, boring pastries and bread. Here's the oxymoron. Here's a Starbucks, and right here is a Danish bakery. It makes the best pastries in town, in the same building. And in spite of being able to get the best pastries ever, right here, people go to Starbucks, right here, and have the dry, boring crap that we bring with us. Some things I really don't understand. But, go figure. Let's go look at McDonald's. I remember driving here. My car was not impressed with cobblestone streets, but you gotta love it though. It's such a part of history, and you can just imagine how the carts would come down this little street past this old building hundreds of years ago. And it's just a beautiful thing that it's still here. Am I right? No? Okay. I wanted to be funny, but you know. See, that's the one thing about Danish girls that I haven't quite understood. Danish women are beautiful and intelligent and hardworking, pragmatic, common sense, beautiful hair. But the cute part, these little silly, smart-ass comments, you know, a little fun. Don't be cute. Don't get cute. Cute's not cute here. I don't get it. Behind me is a bookstore. Now, be very careful, you may learn something. Books were letters printed on paper. Take it with you, nothing electronic, doesn't need batteries. You take these masses of paper, it contains information, or history, or story, and then you read them and assimilate knowledge. Gotta love these old buildings. I really enjoy going for these walks. Now, if only I could find a bakery. Much as I hate waiting around airports, being military, I always show up early, wait twice as long as everybody else. But in Denmark, there's a benefit, because no matter where you go, I hope you enjoyed some of my shows, my movies I put up. Please subscribe to my channel, hit me a like, donate if you feel like it. And if you have any suggestions of things you'd like me to go, see, do, film, talk about, drop me a note down below and I will follow up as soon as I can and do whatever I can to keep you guys entertained. Have a great day.